Hi, this video is to talk about 4-point placement when you want to keep the stitching between the raw edges of your quilt top. A lady recently asked about that. And so this is for if you do not have the gold card, so fabric comp is not an option, and you simply want to stitch to the edge of your quilt top, but not past it. And you can see I've already done some marking lines, and in case you don't know, we'll cover that real quick. So you tap in plugins and marking tool, and you by default have a number 1, and then I've added a number 2. But just to show you, we'll say add marking, and we'll say 3 and enter, and then go to the left edge of your quilt top. And with what you're doing here, you would do this every time you advance your quilt. So you would say add, and a little brown dot appears, and then you would just move your needle and each time tap add, just tracking down that left side of your quilt and add marking, and we'll say 4 and enter, and do the same over on the right side. Just move your needle as it goes back and forth if it's not a real straight edge, because most quilt tops aren't exactly straight. And so you're just making these marking lines that will reflect the exact edge of your quilt top. So now we don't really need 3 and 4. So um, I could say remove all here. This applies to whatever's highlighted in blue, but I don't even want 3 and 4. So I'm going to say 3, remove selected, yes, and then 4, remove selected, yes. So now those are gone. And once you create them, then you say, okay. Okay, so um, we're going to go into Zone Manager, and I'm going to say yes. And this is where you have 4 points selected. It toggles between 4 point and center. So say okay. And now it's shifted to that far left corner, because that's when you haven't placed a zone. It shifts to the top left corner. So so right now we're going to place A, and we don't want the lock width checked. We want this unchecked, okay? So kind of look at where is your line? Is it kind of straight? If it is, just, put it there and tap and say A. And now B opens up, and same thing, just kind of look at it and say, maybe I want to tap a little to the inside even, and tap on B. Okay, so now B is placed. And one thing you want to be careful about is this green line going across. It's got a little blip right there, but you want that green line to be straight, okay? If you have a noticeable dip or a lifting of the line, replace it so that you get a straight line there. Okay, so now C and D are optional, and you want this check mark checked. And that reason is you do want to maintain your height, but by the same token, you can tap anywhere you want to. I can tap here or here or here or here, depending on how it causes my design to fit against my line. And like I said, in this example, because a lady asked about this recently, she said, I want to stitch my design to the line, the raw edge of my quilt top. I don't want it stitching past. If you're doing a border, I'm sorry, a binding. If you're doing a binding that's going to flip over to the top, you don't want stitching past that raw edge. So just to show you what I'm talking about with C, what if I tapped up here and tapped C? You can see it still maintains that straight line across. What if down here I were to tap way down here and tap D? It still maintains that straight line across because it's maintaining that height. So you can use this to your advantage to try and get this green line that represents this is the left edge of your zone and the right edge of your zone. And you're wanting that green line to track as closely possible with your actual line that you've drawn of the raw edge of your quilt top. So for C, and you can place it as many times as you want to. So of course I'm in simulation mode. You'd be moving your needle. So when I look at this, I'm like, we have that little place where it seems to go out. So maybe I'll just tap right there. and we'll see what happens. Well, we still have a little point there, so I'm like, well, I guess I need to shift it a little bit. But now we've got a gap. So you can just kind of keep playing around till you get it. And so this is pretty close. So I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm okay with that. And then over here on the right, where do I want it so that I don't get gaps? And what I mean by gap, like if I were to tap there and then D, well, I've got a huge gap now. So let's see, what if I were to tap right there? And that looks amazingly well. See, it doesn't, the stitching doesn't go across my line and you don't see any gaps. So you're just going to have to play around with where you would tap C and D so that it stays within the lines. And now I need to make a comment that, of course, when you get through stitching your zone, you're going to place A and B for the next zone for when you advance your quilt. So once you do that, and so let's just say that this A happens to be the point, but you need it to be over here. Just stay even. Wherever you place this, stay even, okay? With the A and B that you're given. You don't have to be right on top of it, but just stay even across from it. And wherever you place B, just whether it's here or here, just make it be straight across from those A and B placement points you're given when you finish this zone. So I just wanted to make sure I was very clear because I'm pretty sure I haven't been in past videos that when it comes to C and D with this locked, you want to keep that locked, that you can tap anywhere here or and in effect moving your needle, but you can move your needle anywhere. You don't have to worry about where is this green bottom line of your zone. Don't even worry about it because you've got that height checked. QCT is going to take care of you in that respect. So you can move your needle anywhere here to tap on C, anywhere here, anywhere to tap on D. And just whatever it takes. And you can retap as many times as you want till you're happy. It's going to where your marked line is. So if you have any questions, just post them after this video, and I hope this has been helpful.